Hi, my name is Tiffany with Holistic Health Protection, and I'm here to talk about the COVID-19 virus. I have been doing a lot of research and studying lately, and I wanted to share it with you. First off, I do want to disclose that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I am not a professor or scientist. I am a integrative health coach, and I enjoy studying about the way the human body works. I like to study about biology and just the way our bodies are basically in harmony with the earth, and everything should be natural and clean. And I like to just understand the way the body functions. So, anyway, I am here to talk about the virus. This information that I'm looking at now is from Dr. Andrew Hoffman. He is a certified forensic psychiatry, and he is in the medical university. He studied biology, and he's basically qualified to be able to go over some of this stuff. Basically, I want to talk about the way this testing is. He talks about the testing for the RNA sequence, and it's not a virus. He does go over some of the global standards of the testing that I'm not going to really go over, and confirming why this test is not actually accurate. So what I have here, he is going over that the PCR basically amplifies your DNA. And I'm going to go over this in the most simplest form possible because I want everyone to understand what I'm explaining. So that way we don't have to get too scientific and everyone can follow along. So the PCR test that they are using, it amplifies your DNA. That's why they swab your nose and they swab your mouth. And it is looking for RNA. So this RNA that they're looking for is from the DNA that they're swabbing. However, this test has been shown not to work. There is also this other professor on the right-hand side. He wanted to remain anonymous because he clarified that anytime you have a different narrative that's different than the official one, it could cause a lot of problems, so he wanted to stay anonymous. But he did confirm that the testing is testing for any strand of the coronavirus and not specifically for the COVID-19. Now, here is a breakdown. It's showing the differences of these exosomes. Now, these exosomes also create this RNA, the same thing that the PCR test is testing for the COVID-19. These exosomes are cells that our body creates. If you look closely, the one on the left-hand side, here at the top, it does show that these are exosomes, but it's a little thicker than this COVID-19 on this side. But when in comparison, if you're looking at the diameter, the receptors, both of them contain this RNA, and they are both found in your bronchial tubes. They also use this same test to test for lung cancer. So a lot of these tests that are coming out that they're looking for this RNA, there's other cells in our body that's creating these RNAs. So here, these exosomes shows why it's creating RNA. So this RNA is produced from the exosomes from toxic substances, stress, fear, gee, what would you know, being that everyone is in a panic right now, cancer, ionized radiation, infection, injury, immune responses, asthma, diseases, and electromagnetic frequencies such as 5G. Now, it does say that there's no research at this moment. However, it is a proven fact that 5G causes intense radiation, and it's going to create more RNAs or cancer cells in our body because we're not supposed to be under this immense radiation that we're going to be very, very soon. Here are some other professors. This one is an HIV researcher. He is confirming here the virus is fully an exosome in every sense of the word. This guy here, he's a professor. He was a professor for 25 years at the Rockefeller University, and he's confirming that social distancing and lockdown is absolutely the worst way with dealing an airborne respiratory virus, because he's breaking it down and he explains that it's like a virus. It's just like the measles. It's just like the chicken pox. If you were born probably before the 1990s, you'll remember maybe your parents would have measles parties or chicken pox parties, so that way all the kids could get it. So you build a herd immunity to it. And when you have children, your children are born with a stronger immune system as well. So that's basically what he's breaking down. And he shows of the peak of the virus, where it started to peak when we all started to become isolated, because the virus tends to live and stay stronger instead of weakening, according to the herd immunity. Now, here's some other facts just showing all the amounts of deaths that are caused by heart disease, cancer, accidental deaths, chronic respiratory, stroke, asthma, and as you see, thousands and thousands of people die every single day. And 7,700 die daily in the United States. And there's no cause for pandemic. We're not understanding why this coronavirus has led to this enormous pandemic, because now it's been proven that this test doesn't work. It is only 20% accurate of the positive test. So if you were to, here, let me go to the next slide. So here's some research that I had done based on going to the CDC website, going to the World Health Organization, showing that the flu season from 2018 to 2019, there was 35 million cases and 34,000 deaths. In 2019 to 2020, it's ranging anywhere from 38 to 54 million, and the deaths are anywhere from 24 to 62 because the season's not over. If you look on the right, these were the numbers as of yesterday for the coronaviruses. There was 273,808, and the deaths were about 7,000. Now, if you're taking 20% of that, basically saying that 20% of the positive viruses of the test are accurate, you're looking closer to about 54,000 total and about 1,400 deaths. So I'm not quite sure why we are creating this enormous pandemic for 1,400 deaths, considering that about 35,000 people die each year of the influenza virus. It just doesn't make sense. And then there are some other information circulating throughout social media showing that the National Guard is saying that the COVID-19, that is just a flu, and that Americans ask, why are hundreds of hospitals empty? And a lot of these videos are circulating showing that these hospitals are empty. They're not overflowing like they say they are. So people are confused. What is the issue with the pandemic? And I want to remind you that there's thousands of people that are losing their jobs right now for tests that are only 20% accurate. Let that sink in a little bit, because a lot of people are going to be really struggling real soon, and there's just basically no need for it. So my conclusion would be the virus is real, the pandemic is not. So the big question that we need to ask is why? Why is there this pandemic going on when there's no support behind it? The tests are not supporting, the numbers aren't supporting. There's people are going out, civilians are going out and recording these hospitals, and nothing is supporting what they are saying. So one of the issues that are coming up is this 5G that they're talking about coming out with. If you do your research on 5G, it is basically like we're going to be in a giant microwave the entire planet, because they're talking about putting up over 800,000 satellites and over 50,000 satellites in space. So, and then plus the 5G is 10 times stronger than the 4G. So the amount of radiation that we're going to be getting is going to be outrageous. Also, if you look at the pandemic, the Spanish flu pandemic in 1918, there was a technology change during that pandemic also. So we really need to be looking at the technology change during all these pandemics. And also the 5G is proven to cause cancer, of course. Here you have this guy, I think he's another professor, and he is saying that the real danger is the ID 2020. I want you guys to really do some research on ID 2020. It is a generalized vaccination as a platform for digital identity. They basically want to give you these vaccines and making them mandatory. And they're going to have tracking systems in them, and they're going to have all of your identity information as far as your driver's license, bank account. It's going to cause infertility, where you cannot have children. So there's going to be a lot of problems on top of that. Also, I want you to see the link between the 5G, because in order to be able to track you and have all this technology, they're going to have this 5G to be able to make that work. This is just a immunization schedule. It just shows you the differences between the vaccines. From 1983, there was 24 doses, and now in 2018, it was 72 doses. In 1984, they had passed a law that the vaccine companies would no longer be liable for any damages that were done from these vaccines. So these mandatory vaccines are really going to be bad news, and we need to fight this together as much as possible. Now, the other thing that is circulating social media is about this sex trafficking stuff. They are saying, there are reports saying that there's fires coming out from underground, that there could be war coming out from underground, that some of those ships that are on the coast of America could be for sex slavery. And I really hope that that's true. If they're actually being able to free thousands of slaves and children from sex trafficking, God bless them, that would be such a blessing. But that is another reason of what they were talking about, of what this pandemic could be. Now, this is from Dr. Bergman, one of my favorites, and he's basically just telling us that we need to strengthen our immune system. With all viruses, every single person on the planet has viruses. This is how our bodies work. We are part of the planet. And we're supposed to have viruses and bacteria. That's why you have white blood cells and red blood cells. And as long as you have more white blood cells and your immune system is strong, then you fight it off and it's no big deal. The only time that people are actually going to start dying is if you have weakened immune systems, and a lot of that comes from the processed food and toxic stuff that we are putting in our body. So Dr. Bergman just is listing this as a way to strengthen your immune system, getting vitamin C, vitamin D, which you can get that from the sun, magnesium, zinc, selenium, iodine. Iodine's really great because it absorbs and extracts radiation. So whenever we get into this 5G, because it's destined, it's going to happen, we're all going to need to be taking some sort of iodine to be able to get the radiation out of us. And let's see what else. And then the activated charcoal is really cool too, because you can filter out water with the activated charcoal, and it also will attract the radiation as far as like being able to dispense it out of your body. So you can actually put crushed up charcoal. Let's say you have a campfire with some wood that's not treated. You crush it up, you can put it in between two masks, and it can filter out radiation like that, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, exercise, sleep, eating organic fruits and vegetables to avoid those pesticides. Chiropractic adjustments, this is proven, chiropractic adjustments does work to build your immune system. Playing, because it increases serotonin. Prayer, meditation, and essential oils. All of these are ways to be able to strengthen your immune system. And we should be getting this on a daily basis. Now, prayer is going to be a huge thing. Obviously, if you just read the Bible, it does confirm that these types of things are coming. So just having a strong relationship with the Lord, praying that He helps us get through this. He confirms no weapon that is formed against me shall prosper, Isaiah 54:17. For I am the Lord your God, who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you, Isaiah 41:13. So this is very important, and this is another cause from this pandemic, is that no one can meet in churches, and we don't want the Lord to weaken during this time. We need to rise Him up and to be able to to stay strong against whatever's coming, because he is the only way that we're going to be able to get through this. And here's a few references that were posted by Dr. Hoffman. And anyone that wants this, I'm welcome. I'm more than willing to send it to him. Anyway, thank you so much. God bless. And I just wish you all the best. Thank you.